Okay, so you have a lot of cross currents here. You have good data. You have the Fed certainly on the horizon. So what do you do with the money that you might have in your portfolio? Follow the smart money and ask, what would Wilbur do? The markets may be rallying today, but again, it's been more than a year since the Dow hit the record high. Same with the S&P. So what are the billionaires doing? Wilbur Ross joining me now in a First on Fox Business interview. And the breaking news with you, Wilbur, is that you were just announced as a presidential trustee on Donald Trump's victory leadership team, which to me is a fancy way of saying you got to raise $1 billion for his presidential campaign, right?
Oh, I think he's going to run a low-budget campaign just like he did before, but there will be more money needs for organization in all the various states, and the committee is going to try to do whatever it can to help him achieve his victory.
He says he can raise $1 billion. Do you believe that?
I wouldn't doubt it. Look at how much Bernie Sanders has raised in little tiny amounts from young people.
Is that how you guys will go? Is that a strategy where you'll ask for, hey, whatever you've got underneath the sofa cushions kind of thing?
Well, I think everybody will try to give according to their means. So I'll probably get stuck for a little more than the average person.
Just like some people say taxes should go. Even Donald Trump, who says the wealthy should pay more of their fair share. I have to ask you, though, you do have a challenge ahead of you because wealthy, at least some wealthy Republicans, I'm thinking the Ricketts family, or, of course, the Koch brothers who have not yet committed, they're giving money to smaller races or down-ballot races. They are not sold on Donald Trump right now.
Well, they're certainly not sold on Hillary Clinton. I think what the Kochs have always done is to be very interested in the senatorial and House races. If you look back over the years, that's really been their biggest single focus. So I don't think that's that surprising. What I am surprised at is it's taken so long for the Republican establishment to catch on to the fact he is going to be the candidate. He's the only candidate. And I don't understand, unless they want Hillary Clinton to win, why they wouldn't support him.
Does it bother you, or does it give you pause, perhaps, because you are an investor who goes into whatever country you see as an opportunity, that he has called for tariffs, trade tariffs? How would that affect your personal investments, and do you feel like that's a problem with you, or you'd like to talk to him about it, maybe change his mind?
Well, I think the front page story in today's Washington Post is a more important explanation of Trump's appeal. And it made the point that people in a town I never even heard of called Syria, Virginia, were polled about his attitude on Muslims. And while we may or may not agree with the particulars, they said it's the rhetoric that we like. It's the direction, it's the attitude, rather than the exact policy things that he comes up with. I think when he says he's going to raise the tariffs a lot, what he's talking about is a negotiating chip to try to solve some of the trade deficit problems we have.
Wilbur, to the markets, you certainly have no problem answering what I like to call distress calls. You go into distressed investments. You've done it with coal. You made a fortune. You did it with steel. You've done Greece, Ireland, the Ireland banks, which were flailing. You were able to make some real coin off that. What distress calls do you see right now that might look interesting, if not now, down the road?
Well, the thing that we've announced we're working a lot on, a very large transaction, is not a distressed company. It's one that's actually improving. We're acquiring a large chemical distribution business into Wilbur Ross Holding Corp., our public SPAC. So that's a little bit of a departure for us, but it's a company that has some more work to do.
What about something like, I'm just going to throw this out there, Venezuela? Venezuela right now feels like it's at the crux of a major flare-up, tipping point. Something's going on there. You see riots in the streets. You see people who would love to run against the current administration, the socialist administration, and you have capitalism down for the count. Coca-Cola announcing it has to shut down operations there. The Bridgestone getting out. Coca-Cola says there's not enough sugar in that nation. Would Venezuela ever look interesting to you?
Sure. There's no inherent reason why Venezuela shouldn't be a very successful country. It just needs a change in management. A very radical change in management.
So if you saw a new government go in, you'd consider checking out investments?
Oh, absolutely. Because it has natural resources, has huge oil reserves, it has all kinds of good things. And so I think Venezuela could be turned around. but it has to take a popular uprising to do it. I think the sad thing, remember, after the last regime came in, the military put him out briefly and then somehow let him back in, and I could never figure out why they did that. It's sad for the country, and it's very sad for the people of Venezuela.
It's great to have you. Thank you so much. When you're ready to dive into Venezuela, come to us first and tell us. Because that looks scary to the average investor. But that's how he's made his billions, folks. Wilbur, thank you.